everyone, and welcome back to The Fun Review. My name is Sydney, and I'll be your host for this 6-segment video series for Dr. Rivers and his public rhetoric class. So today we'll be talking about the installment of the Final Fantasy series, which closed the door to the old generation of Final Fantasy and opened a new one to a brand spanking, shiny new series for the beginning of the new millennium. This installment in particular has a lot of firsts and paves the way to more new Final Fantasy series to come. So without further ado, let's start talking about Final Fantasy X.
Originally premiering in Japan on July 19, 2001, Final Fantasy X was released in North America in December of that same year for the Sony PlayStation 2. Final Fantasy X was the first installment of this series to take a leap in enhanced picture and sound to bring characters to life on the new platform. This includes use of voice actors and graphics to contour facial expressions and actions. And as of now, Final Fantasy X is still available for the Sony PlayStation 2 and now available on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and by 2015 on the PlayStation 4. Set in the fantasy world of Spira, this story revolves around Tidus, a blitzball sports star living in Zanarkand at the top of his game. By a twist of fate, his city is attacked, and Tidus ends up traveling 1,000 years into the future.
I started to feel lightheaded, and then sleepy.
You're a blitzball player, aren't you? From Zanarkand, right?
He soon encounters the summoner Yuna
hear that from
on her
Wonka?
pilgrimage to destroy the rampaging, powerful monster known as Sin.
I will defeat Sin. I must defeat Sin.
Tidus, Yuna, and the rest of Yuna's guardians set their sights on defeating Sin permanently, and to find the mysterious connection between Tidus and Sin. The battle system from Final Fantasy X is refined from the active time bar system used in previous Final Fantasy installments, now called the Conditional Turn-Based Battle System, or CTB for short. While the ATB system features enemies striking in real time, the CTB system is solely turn-based, that pauses the battle during each of the player's turns and allowing the player to select an action without any constraint. This shifts the focus from reflexes and quick decision-making to strategy and careful planning in the heat of battle. Limit breaks make a reappearance in Final Fantasy X, known as overdrives. The overdrive gauge is filled when a character sustains damage in battle. When filled, players have a choice to use interactive features, like requiring button inputs, to increase the overdrive's effectiveness. And, unlike in previous games in the series, the players in Final Fantasy X are able to switch out characters on the go during battle. Leveling up characters in Final Fantasy X introduces a brand new system called the Sphere Grid. This grid of interconnected nodes, arranged in smaller circular clusters, contain all the abilities and special skills a character can learn. Instead of characters gaining predetermined statistic bonuses after leveling up, each character gains sphere levels after collecting enough ability points, or AP for short. Sphere levels allow players to move around on the sphere grid and unlock functions for a selected character through special spheres collected as items from battle. Characters start at different places on the sphere grid, but can be fully customized by players to gain whatever abilities is needed across the grid, building an effective fighting force ready for any possibilities. The most notorious complaints for this game are whether you're running, swimming, jumping, climbing, or riding, Final Fantasy's use of linear corridors comes back with a vengeance, with lots of easy treasures to find along the way. What's the point of a map if we're only going to go straight? The best thing about Final Fantasy X is its new, remastered form, celebrating the game's 10th anniversary in 2011. Square Enix promised a remastered version of Final Fantasy X and its sequel, Final Fantasy X-2, in 2011, and finally it premiered in March earlier this year. This game includes an international version not ever seen before in America, HD features, and includes a revamped soundtrack to enjoy during the course of the game. So, despite its little faults, the world of Spira would have never been the same if it weren't for that jump into new technology. Final Fantasy X was a solid, no, excellent stepping stone to the many advances in the Final Fantasy series today. My rating for Final Fantasy X is a 9 out of 10.
So I hope you all enjoyed this video half as much as I enjoyed making it. Tune in next time for the last segment of the final review, where we'll be talking about the incredibly amazing Final Fantasy XII. So stick around and I'll see you then.